Hey Sunshine, welcome to week 14. So this is actually the second time I'm recording this video. Apparently it turned off about 25 seconds into the last recording, so fingers crossed that this works this time. Welcome again. If you're new, very quick background, I am Lauren and I'm working on a year-long project that I basically got the idea for after my father passed away unexpectedly early this year. When I came up with this project, I had three main goals and criteria. First was I wanted to do something that would help connect me to my father because we had a very strained relationship for a long time before he passed away, and we were beginning to repair it, and then he died like very soon after. So I wanted something that would kind of help me work through that stuff. Two, I wanted something that you could follow along with, that someone else could do as well. And, you know, if it works out, create a little bit of a community, because I know I'm not the only one who has had strained parental relationships. That was my second. Third, to be honest, I really wanted something that at the end of the year, at the end of the project, I could write a book about. I've always wanted to write a book, and I've never had something that I felt like was long enough, interesting enough to like really kind of make that happen. Also, my father was super into self-help and, you know, started me in on that like pretty early, like elementary school at least. So I thought that would be kind of another good way to connect. I wanted to split the year into basically 4 parts, quarters, as they're called in math, and do 12 weeks and then a week of reflection, and then 12 weeks, you know, like that. It's already gotten a little bit messed up because week of reflection here is week 14. And basically that happened because my roommate went on vacation. If you've seen the other videos about decluttering and stuff, that sort of threw everything off. I had like 2 extra weeks. It was a whole project. So yeah, it's a little bit off, but I'm going to keep on the roughly 12-week timeline. I've changed the format a few times, just going through, realizing like I missed something or I wanted to add something to, you know, each of my projects thus far. But I realize looking at all the videos for those projects, I feel like something is missing. And I feel like the missing something is kind of myself. I tried to play it very safe and not have a lot of strong opinions and not necessarily be open and honest about different difficulties I had with my father and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like I was trying to protect myself from hurt, but that also means like I'm not really dealing with any of the stuff that did make me sad and did make our relationship difficult. So I'm not really doing what I set out to do. And I feel like I was trying to avoid some of the pain of that. And it's not possible to like really grow and change and sort of get over stuff if you're always like walled off. Also, I realize that I think I've been kind of boring because I'm trying to be so like, I don't want to offend anyone, that I don't really say anything. And if I'm planning on writing a book, that is going to be the most boring book ever. So I'm going to try and change it up. I'm going to try to be more honest and open and myself from here on out. Here is one of the big, I guess, caveats that was partially making me not talk too openly. And that is, obviously, there are other people and family members who maybe were there for things or not there for things or knew stuff or didn't know stuff or whatever. And this isn't about them. This isn't about, their experience. This is only about my experience. And two people can experience the exact same thing very differently. I know my dad experienced a lot of this quite differently than I did. We've talked about some of it, but a lot of it we didn't. And a lot of it, I think, makes it difficult to remember him as positively as I would like, or even as positively as maybe he deserves. He wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfect. Nobody is perfect. But I just want to stress again that this is my experience. And if I do happen to mention somebody, this is the way I experienced that event. I'm trying to keep as many people out of it as possible. Most specifically, my mother and brother, the two people I care about most, who, were sometimes there for some of what is going on. But again, this isn't a story about them. So I'm trying to keep them out as much as possible. If they someday want to tell you their stories, YouTube is still free. So they can, do that themselves. And, anybody else, if this is not the way you felt about stuff, then that's you, and you can tell your own story. Also, I just want to say, this is not a, true crime podcast. There is no big reveal at the end of this, as far as I know, unless I come to, some amazing epiphany at the end. But, no crimes have been committed, as far as I know, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not something like that. It's just a difficult familial relationship. But I feel like there are a lot of people who have those, and it's getting easier, but it's not always easy to share that on anywhere, not on the internet, but also just not necessarily with friends and other family members who maybe have good relationships, or don't understand that seeing 1,000 Mother's Day or Father's Day cards and commercials and whatever can be painful for some people because their relationships with those people weren't great. This is kind of, for me, for you as well. I welcome, comments and all of that kind of stuff. Certainly, if more than two people comment on anything, be respectful in the comments to each other. I would like you to be respectful to me, but, I can't force you to do anything. So just, I guess, be yourself. So that is the way things are going to hopefully start opening up from here on out. I'll be more myself, I hope. Although probably my first few next videos, they might just be audio over pictures, because I feel like being more open vocally first is going to be easier than being on camera while maybe stressed about what I'm talking about. So we'll see how that goes. And lastly, I'm going to give you a tiny bit of a story time to explain why I always say, "Hi, Sunshine." And I have a pup named Sunshine. So here's the short version of that. When I got who became Sunshine, his name was Butch. And I knew I was not going to keep the name Butch, although it is kind of adorable, for he was 4 pounds at the time, little white ball of fluff. But his name was Butch. I was trying to figure out a name. I had come up with Snowball and Snowflake and Blizzard, and I didn't really like any of them. So I was talking to my mom, who had recently also gotten a dog, and she named him Jake, but his original name was Blaze. Now, in the early 2000s, I had liked this author for a long time. One of the first authors I actually knew as an author. Her name is Robin McKinley. She wrote a book called Sunshine. It doesn't have anything to do with the movie or whatever. It was one of her kind of Beauty and the Beast books, only in this case, it was a vampire and a baker. The main woman's name was Raven Blaze, but literally everybody called her Sunshine. And that started out because her mom's boss, and she sometimes came into work, her mom's boss said, "Hi, Sunshine," to everybody who came in. And for whatever reason, the name stuck to her, and suddenly she became Sunshine. So that is why, like, I had been saying "Hi, Sunshine" for a decade before I got Sunshine. So yeah, that's why it used to be my greeting before him, and I've kind of kept it as a greeting, even though I do have a pup named Sunshine. So that is that little story. Here is a little bit of Sunshine serotonin, and I hope to see you next week as things maybe get a little bit different. I hope you have a fantastic week. Live, laugh, and shine. And here's little Sunshine.